4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Central Kentucky Pressure Washing, Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchinson.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I am the sports editor of the Richmond Register. We very much appreciate you guys tuning in this week to check out our show. In just a few minutes, we'll have a very special guest, Harry the Hurricane Hunsucker, who is a local MMA fighter who just recently signed a 4-fight deal with the UFC. He's here to share his very inspiring story of growing up in very humble beginnings down in Rockcastle County and climbing all the way up to appearing on ESPN and being on national television and being a nationally ranked UFC fighter. So we very much appreciate him coming by and sharing his story with us. Trust me, you're going to want to check it out. It's really cool. He's a cool guy and a very humble guy who's also done a lot to give back to the community here in Richmond, in Madison County, and also down in Rockcastle County as well. But as always, we like to start off the show by kind of giving you a recap of what happened this week in Madison County sports, and also looking ahead to what's happening this coming up week. So this is after a couple of weeks of mostly just having high school golf and soccer news to report on. Everything starts up this week. High school volleyball starts on Monday. High school football starts on Friday, and so we will have the full gamut of high school sports all across the landscape, and that is the busy this time of the year, but the funnest time of the year for us. So we're going to look ahead, first of all, to high school football. All 3 Madison County teams will be in action Friday night in their season openers, and all 3 of them will definitely face some very tough challenges. Madison Central plays host to the Roy Kidd Bowl on Friday, 7:30 over here in Richmond, and they will take on last year's Class 2A state runner-up LCA. The Eagles went 10-2 last year and lost to Beechwood 24-23 in the 2A championship game. Of course, last year Central went 1-8. This year they have a new coach. It's someone everybody's pretty familiar with, former Breathitt County coach Mike Holcomb. Won a couple of state championships over there, has almost 300 career wins. So the Indians have new leadership, and they'll be turning to probably looks like Eli Steele as their quarterback this year. And of course, they have some great players back as well in Edgerrin Sweat and Malachi Wood, who are getting serious Division I offers. So Indians open up 7:30 at home against LCA. Madison Southern Eagles will take to the road down to Pulaski County to take on Southwestern in a game that was originally supposed to be a Saturday bowl game, but now has been moved to Friday night, so it will be Friday night at 7:30. Madison Southern coming off another district championship last year. They were 6-4. And Southwestern also won a district championship. They went 10-2 and got all the way to the region final, where they lost to Frederick Douglass in a hard-fought game. So Madison Southern does bring back their kind of jack-of-all-trades in Walt Smith, a kid who's a standout on offense and defense, can play quarterback, wide receiver, running back, all over the place, and to bring back sophomore quarterback Cole Carpenter, who was a starter last year. So Berea Community also has a new head coach. It is Frank Parks Jr. A lot of you guys know him from his time at Ryan Station and also as an assistant at Madison Central. But the Pirates went 0-8 last season, and they will take on Harlan Friday night at home in the season opener. Harlan was 3-3 last year and did pick up a 22-20 win over the Berea Pirates. So Berea does bring back some pretty talented kids, though. Jason Coburn, the senior quarterback, is back, and senior running back Jaden Cunningham, who is just a bulldog and a bowling ball back there, and hard to tackle. So all 3 teams in action. We'll have coverage of all 3 of those. You can check out our social media sites for updates. That's Twitter is Richmond R Sports, Facebook is Register Sports, and richmondregister.com. So on Tuesday, the EK football team held its annual media day, and we got a chance to talk to some of the players. And it's second season under Coach Walt Wells over there. The first, I guess you'd say, normal season after the shortened COVID season last year, when they played in the fall, and a lot of teams played in the spring or played a split schedule. So it's things are somewhat returning to normal, but a lot of good things going on over there. New turf on the field, new lights as well at Roy Kidd Stadium. So lots of good things going on. And Coach Walt Wells and his team will face a very difficult schedule this year. They take on Louisville, Austin P, Jacksonville State, and also have a trip to Texas to take on the defending FCS national champion Sam Houston State. So we were there on Tuesday, so here's a little video of Walt Wells talking about this year's schedule for the Colonels.
I hope people come out and watch it, and we're challenged by that schedule. And I think if you're going to build a program to be a championship program and a consistent championship program, you've got to play good teams. And I think that's why you see Alabama being good every year. They're challenged every year. Every week it's a challenge, and that's what's so fun about it to me. I would rather play good teams than teams that you think you can go in and maybe manhandle. And I'm not saying any disrespect to anybody in another conference. I just feel like iron sharpens iron. If we're going to play those teams, then we're going to be, if we are successful like we plan to be, like everybody plans to be, right? Then we're going to be ready for the playoff run, which is a hard run to be in. And I just always related back to my time in the Missouri Valley Conference. We never won the conference, but we were always in the tournament and we were always winning some games. And that's because of our conference and because it was so hard to play.
All right, well, definitely will be a challenging schedule for the Colonels. And also had a chance to talk to Matt Wilcox, Parker McKinney, and Tucker Schroeder. And they talked a little bit about what it's like being in the second season under Coach Wells, and also having all that system in place and having a more normal preseason and everything with COVID.
I think we're all more comfortable. I mean, after getting a whole year under your belt, because last year with COVID, we didn't get a spring. I mean, we got half of the summer. So like going into the season, we didn't really know what to expect. We were honestly just all learning the offense. So this year, after having a spring and a full summer under our belt, we're all a lot more confident in the offense, and we all know exactly what we're supposed to do and what everyone expects from each of us.
Absolutely. I again, couldn't agree more. It's kind of one of those things where, like Parker said, last year it's no spring, no summer, coming in trying to learn a new offense. I mean, that's difficult to do. Now that we have an idea and it's been in place, we've gone over these installs multiple times. Now we're trying to get into the fine details of reading defenses and going things like that, and just improving our game little by little like that. So it's a lot better.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with these two guys. I know last year, at the beginning of, even with the fall camp that we did have, it was limited. It was ups and downs. Conferences were canceling, and we were still getting out there. So I just feel like we're a lot more comfortable with the offense and be able to fly around and make a lot more plays.
The Colonels will open the season September 4th at Western Carolina, and we'll be keeping track of that for you a little bit later on. The Richmond Register football preview section will be in this week's paper on Thursday. We will have previews of Madison Central, Madison Southern, Berea, and EKU, so take a look for that, and we'll have all those stories blasted out all over our social media sites as well, so check that out. And in the Tuesday edition of the Richmond Register, you will find high school volleyball preview with previews of all four teams as well. So keep you up to date on what's going on out there with all the sports in Madison County. Well, the Madison Central girls and boys golf team continued to put up very impressive results last week. The Madison Central Lady Indians were in 3 tournaments last week, and they won all 3 of them by about 20 shot margins in each of those events. On Monday, they won the Model Invitational over at Arlington, with Clara Beth Ramsey taking first place individually. On Tuesday, they won their own Madison Central Invitational at Gibson Bay, once again with Clara Beth Ramsey taking the title. And then on Saturday at the Joy of Golf tournament over in Lawrenceburg, they once again lapped the field by about 20 strokes, and it was Clara Beth Ramsey who took second place. So those young ladies are definitely teeing up for what could be a very successful run at a state championship. And the Madison Central boys continue to also just play very, very, very well. On Monday, they finished 3rd at the Battle of the Bluegrass, and they also finished 3rd on Saturday at the Battle of the Bridge. They posted a 277, but finished 3rd in an incredible field that shot that saw 17 kids shoot under par and 5 teams go under 300. So good performance. But what I want to talk about with them more than anything is on Wednesday, they played host to the Madison Central Invitational over at Gibson Bay, and the team claimed its 5th team title of the year. And senior Cooper Eberly claimed his first ever individual tournament title. He did it on his home course, and we had a chance to talk to him afterwards.
All right, we are here at Gibson Bay Golf Course for the Madison Central Boys Invitational, and this is your winner, folks. Cooper Eberly with a 2 under 70, first ever high school individual tournament championship. Congratulations, Cooper.
Thank you. Thank you.
And how much more special is that, considering it comes on your home course? And basically, you basically grew up on this course and live on this course.
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I've played a lot of tournaments out here, and I've struggled in the past. I mean, just last week, we played Winchester's tournament out here, and it was a poor performance, left me very frustrated, but I mean, my poor tournament history here has given me a lot to work for. I mean, I think it's my senior season. It's my last high school home invitational. And I mean, to come out and get the win on a course that I've grown up, played my whole life, I mean, that's huge. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think you and Elizabeth feel extra pressure when you play on this course, and it maybe kind of gets to you a little bit sometimes.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, you're at your home course. You feel like you should be performing. You feel like you should be beating everybody when it's the same as any other course. You just know it a little better. I mean, a lot of pressure at the home course.
Yeah, you started off on 1, and you birdied 5 and 7, and a bogey in between. I see the +1 there, and I think you birdied 15 as well. So, kind of walk us through your round.
I mean, I was really frustrated the first 4 holes. I was even par, which was a good place to be at, but I had great birdie looks on all my first 4 holes. And just struggled to get the putter rolling. I mean, I left one on the very first hole, right on the front lip. Very frustrating start, and finally was able to get one on 5 and giving it right back on 6. I hit a bad chip. I mean, it's a frustrating bogey, but I mean, I got to the 7th hole and Coach came up to me, and I didn't hit a great tee ball. It was a little right. And he told me not to worry about it, and that it was a 3-shot hole. And when I got up to it, I turned it into a 2-shot hole. I got there in 2 and made my birdie. And from there, it was just a lot of steady pars. Hit a lot of greens, didn't make many putts. Just a lot of pars, made it simple on the back 9, and it's just what you got to do out here.
Yeah. Well, in addition to you taking the individual title, Central shot a 295 to take the team title, and by 10 strokes. And even that's without a couple of your main players there. So you guys, once again, showing off your depth. I mean, you guys really have 8, 9, 10 guys that can play at the top level of the state.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We talk about it all the time with our team. I mean, we might have a reputation for our top 5 guys going out and winning a lot of tournaments, but a lot of people don't realize that you go past the top 5. I mean, we've got a 6, a 7, and every now and then an 8. I mean, we've got guys that can all go under par. I mean, last week we had our B team had an under par player out here, and 2 of our 5-man and our 4-man were both right around par. I mean, we've got a lot of depth, that's for sure.
And even with that kind of, you had a rotating lineup here recently, but now I think it's 8 events, 5 championships for the team, 2 second-place finishes, and a 3rd. So you guys are obviously proving that you're among the best in the state.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, when we won today without 2 of our best players, and our 3rd place finish, we were missing 3 of our top 5. So I mean, that hurt us. But I think we've done more than enough to prove that when we have our best guys there, we can compete with absolutely anybody in the state.
All right, congratulations, Cooper. Good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, well, congratulations to Cooper. And we also had a chance after that tournament on Wednesday to talk to Coach Kyle Congleton, who has his team playing really well and really in position to challenge for a state championship.
All right, we are here at Gibson Bay Golf Course, where the Madison Central Indians have won the Madison Central Boys Invitational, shoot a 295, and beat out St. X by 10 shots for the title. This is Coach Kyle Congleton. Congratulations, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's been, so far this year, amazing. 8 tournaments now, 5 first-place finishes, 2 seconds, and a 3rd, and you guys have had kind of a rotating lineup at times with kids playing big junior events, so you didn't have 2 of your top 5 today, but you guys have an amazing deep team, and showcase that again.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what I was joking with St. X's coach about Saturday. I think really for the first time, which I've obviously had my top 5 a few tournaments, but not everybody's had their top 5 all year. So I think Saturday's going to be one of the first tournaments where every team's going to have their full lineup, including myself. So, yeah, it's been a great 2 weeks. We've played 8 tournaments now. That's half the season already over right here before school even starts. And we're off to a good start, but doesn't really matter, how we're playing now. It's all, we're working off for one day. It comes down to one day, and that's literally, 6 weeks away. So, yeah, we're playing good. We just got to keep feeding off the momentum, keep working hard, keep our head on straight, and everything will work out like it's supposed to.
Cooper Everly goes 2 under 70 to claim his first ever high school individual championship. Comes on his home course. You got to feel good for that kid because there's a lot of pressure on him when he plays this course. His dad's the pro here, and everybody thinks he's supposed to win every time he goes out there.
And again, people made jokes today. Cooper, he's seen this course a time or two, and I'm sure he told you, he's one of those. He's not played well here in tournaments lately, or the last few years. So me and him had a big talk on Monday. Again, he was kind of unsure if he, with his knee, and just tired if he wanted to play. And we had a big talk. And again, he's young, he's tough, and it was great to see him for his own confidence to come out and not only play great and probably one of the best rounds I've seen him play, but to get the win. I mean, that's all the confidence that kid needs to get going the rest of this, month and a half into the season.
Yeah, did not have Warren Thomas. No, I did not have Clay Pendergrass, and did not have Gavin McCune today.
Yeah.
But Warren Thomas shoots an even par, and it was who else? Hayden Walsh stepped up and shot a 76, and Jacob Aldridge at 77.
77, yeah. So again, no Clay, who most people know that's our one man. Again, I would say he's our one and only stud. We got some players this year, but Clay not having your one man, and then Gavin, who anybody on my team will tell you he's playing better than anybody on the team right now. I think right now at the AJGA he's at in Louisville, 3 under on the front 9. So he's making a run right here at his senior year, and I think the hard work that he's put in is really starting to pay off.
Okay, and what's the rest of the week hold for you guys?
So we'll talk here in a bit, but we will take off tomorrow. We normally always practice on Fridays. Most likely we'll take off Friday, meet with my 5 guys that are going to travel Saturday, play with them Saturday, off Sunday, and then finally Monday gets here, and that gets us into our normal high school golf season practice schedule and tournament schedule. Again, here at Central, we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, always off Thursdays, practice Fridays, and a tournament is every Saturday all the way up into region, which is September 28th. So now that we are through the busy season, again, we still be at it 5 days a week and doing everything we can to prepare for a regional championship and make a run at a state title.
All right, well, Coach, congratulations on your success. Good luck going forward.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, congratulations to Cooper Eberly and to Coach Kyle Congleton. The Indians are really playing well, and it's been fun to watch, and we wish them success going forward. One other golf note, Madison Central graduate and current Morehead State golfer Mackenzie Neal won the Kentucky Amateur Stroke Play Championship on Thursday over at the Bull, her home course. She'd finished second in that event last year when it was played up in Lexington at the Griffin Gate, but she came through with the championship on Thursday in front of her friends and family out there at the Bull. So congratulations to Mackenzie Neal. The high school soccer season kicked off on last Monday, and we've already had one district matchup on Thursday. It was Model and Berea boys taking on each other over here in Richmond, and it was the Patriots picking up a 6-3 win. It was Keshoff Bondieri with 4 goals for the Patriots, and that came after Model had opened the season earlier in the week with a loss to Danville. So Model 1-1 after the first week of the season. Lots of other action to get to as far as soccer. The Madison Central boys picked up a 4-1 win over Bryan Station on Tuesday, and then picked up a 4-1 win on over Covington Catholic on the road Saturday. And in that win, it was Gavin O'Shea with 3 goals, and Sam Hughes with a goal and 3 assists. One of the great stories of the week, the Berea Community Girls soccer team. The team went 0-12-1 last year and only scored 2 goals on the entire season. They opened up the season with a 9-2 win over Estill County, and Maddie King with 3 goals and an assist. So congratulations to those girls. Their first win in almost 2 years, so that was very awesome to see for them. So, in other action, the Madison Southern girls picked up a 4-0 win on Tuesday over North Laurel. It was Mallory Durison with a couple of goals in that one. The Madison Southern boys split a couple of games this week. They lost 7-1 to Paul Orange Dunbar on Tuesday, and then bounced back on Saturday with a 9-1 win over Lincoln County on the road. In that game, it was Rue Limmer with a goal and 2 assists, and Chase Duverson with 3 goals as well. And the Model girls picked up a 5-0 win on Monday over Frankfort Christian, and they picked up a 2-1 win on Wednesday over Bourbon County. In that game, it was Peyton Sparks and Rebecca Otieno with goals. So lots of stuff going on. There'll be lots more coming up this week as everything kicks into full gear. We try our best to get you every score of every game every night. That's what our goal is. And so if you check our social media sites, we have lots of stuff out there for you. So we're always out and about in the community taking pictures, getting stuff. And we always appreciate the amount of help we get from the coaches and athletic directors across the county. So we very much appreciate that. So we do have, like I said, Harry Hunsucker coming up here in a minute. He's going to tell us a little bit about his improbable journey from a trailer park in Rockcastle County to potentially, hopefully here in the next few weeks, having a fight at Madison Square Garden. So it's a great story. So stick around. We appreciate you watching, and we'll be right back.
Do you want to sponsor the weekly Richmond Register Sports Show? Contact the Richmond Register, richmondregister.com, and of course on Facebook or Twitter. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Central Kentucky Pressure Washing, Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms.
Welcome back. We are pleased to be joined today by Harry the Hurricane Hunsucker, local MMA fighter who's working his way up and just recently signed a 4-fight deal with the UFC, the big boys up there. So congratulations, Harry.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Your story is so inspiring, man. And I'll be honest with you, I think it was in March when Ed McDaniel, our buddy, I was talking to him one day and he said, man, you got to meet this guy, Harry. You would not believe his story and what he's been through. And I'd never heard of you before that, but he told me a little bit about it, and then I sat down and talked with you. And man, it's amazing from where you come from to where you are now. And do you ever kind of reflect on kind of the journey that's been so far, or are you just kind of in the moment trying to focus on moving forward with your career?
You know, I guess people keep telling me that I've been through a lot, man. I don't really look at it that way, but I mean, I guess I have. You know, I mean, life's crazy. We all got battles to fight. And some of us got it a little bit worse than others. And, you know, I'm definitely not the person that's had it the worst, but, you know, we've definitely had some struggles. You know, so like, you know, people ask me about that all the time, and I really don't know what to say, man. I'm just trying to do something good, and like good things happen to me because of it. I like to think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Life for everybody is rough, so I don't think I'm anybody special, and I just try to, I try to be normal.
Yeah, I love that attitude about you, and you are being profiled in a new web series called Hurricane Season: Rise of the Underdog, or Rise of an Underdog, and it's on United We Stand, UNTDWSTND.com. And who kind of got up with you on that? And kind of the first episode is out.
Sure.
The second one's coming out pretty soon. So kind of who got up with you on that, and who's been working with you on that project?
Yeah, so Josh Atanovich, I think that's how you say his name. I'm probably messing that up. He'll hit me
Sorry,
for
Josh.
it later. It's all good. And then Jeff Reno and Nick, they got up with me, interested in shooting. So, you know, I didn't know it was going to be a full-length documentary at first, series-wise. I just, I definitely wasn't going to say no to the opportunity, and, they're great. They've actually kind of become friends of mine throughout the process. They were just down in Berea filming a little bit of our seminar yesterday, talking to my coach, and getting some great footage there. So, I met Jeff because he did some photo work and some video work for Elite, and, our relationships just blossomed from there, and I think that now it's more than, a lot of the relationships that I've got into, regarding fighting have started as business relationships, but now they're friendships. I mean, that's that's I guess kind of how me and Ed got a little closer too. We went to church together, and then he started sponsoring me, and then he's honestly become a good friend of mine too. So I don't know. They reached out to me, and they said they were interested in profiling me a little bit as for my call up into the UFC, the hand surgery, and then the rise now, which is the build back up to that next fight, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So it's been a great opportunity, and I don't know, they're cool guys. I like them a lot. They're cool.
Yeah, I watched the first episode. It's about 15-16 minutes long. It's got a lot of cool aerial footage, drone type stuff. It's really well shot and really well put together.
Yeah. So the idea behind the web series is to keep them a little bit shorter like that, so that it's something you can watch on your phone, you can pull up on the laptop, you can connect it to the TV, and then it'll be streamed directly through their website. Like he said, it's UNTD WeSTND.com. United We Stand. Missing a few letters. They're not that smart. I'm just like,
Well, you're not used to it. That was probably already taken. That web address was probably already taken.
you might be right, but like I think that their logo's cool, and they have a good mission behind all of the stuff that they're doing. They're doing a lot of work for veterans. They're all active duty military guys, so they're doing a lot of work for veterans. They just hosted a golf scramble and raised some money, and 100% of the money's going to veterans. So it's a cool thing. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, well, I know you're really kind of humble about your beginnings, but I think people need to know a little bit about that. So we'll dive into that a little bit. But obviously, you relocate here from Ohio to Rockcastle County with your mom, kind of unexpectedly.
Sure.
Had to kind of move down there. You end up in a really not so great area in a trailer park down in Mount Vernon, and it was rough going for your family.
Yeah. So I was born in Paynesville, Ohio, and lived there for the first few years of my life. Whenever I was 5, we moved down here kind of abruptly, and took about what we had on our back, and that was it. And came down here. We stayed with my grandparents for a little while, and then whenever we moved into our own place, we moved into Ramsey's trailer park down in Mount Vernon, and it's a bad neighborhood. Recently went back down there and hung out for a couple hours during the bike giveaway, and it's not changed much. It's still just as rough as it was forever, and there's just not a whole lot of hope down in that neck of the woods. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean that's all over the place now. Honestly, there's everywhere you look. I made a post the other day. Like everywhere you look, there's negativity and something bad happening. So it's hard to see the good whenever the bad and the negative is like just everywhere, man. Everywhere you look, and like nobody's ever talking about what's happening good on the news. It's always what's bad, So like it just, I don't know. Like I'm just hoping to bring some hope back to places like that, or anybody that needs it, I guess, really.
Yeah. And so you told me you got picked on a lot because you had a kind of a funky last name.
Yeah.
And some of your friends started getting into these kind of unsanctioned kind of, I don't know if they call them tough man fights or whatever, and some of your friends were doing that, so you thought, well, I can do that too.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, I got made fun of my whole life. I mean, my name's Harry Hunsucker. I got picked on in school a lot, obviously, for that. And then, like, we weren't, we didn't have a lot of money. We were kind of poorish. So, I was an easy target for bullying. Plus, like, we moved all the time too. So I was a new kid at school. And once I got into like middle school, high school, we quit moving around so much. But when I was in elementary school, I was like, a different school, once or twice a year. And then once I got to middle school and high school, and that's like where bullying starts, you know what I mean? And like I moved like back from my last year of elementary school to Rockcastle County, and like, I don't know, the gauntlet started, like people pick on you all the time and stuff. But, that's just, that's childhood, I guess. And, kids are punks.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So your friends were doing these kind of.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. My bad. Yeah.
And one of your friends was doing it, and you're like, well, I can kick this.
Yeah.
Guy's
So
butt. It's like, I'll go do this too.
Yeah. So basically, like whenever MMA first became popular in Kentucky, it was unsanctioned. So like basically anybody that had a boxing ring or a cage could set it up, organize fights. I'm not sure what like they had to do to keep it safe. I have no clue. I wasn't worried about that at that point. So I had a couple of friends that had been fighting for a while, and I was like, y'all are stupid. And like, I don't know why you would do that. Like, it just doesn't sound like a good idea. And then like my friend Shadow, he's done like a couple of my tattoos that I got. Like, so he went and did it, and I was like, dude, Shadow did it. I have to do it now. It's like, we used to box and fight in the backyard all the time. And like, if he did it, I know I could do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not a knock on him at all. It's just I knew that if he had the guts to do it, I could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you go out there and you win your first match.
Yeah. So the first fight I fought down in Russell Springs in, I think it was 2007 or 2008. And
the second one,
dude, like the whole, well. Like whenever I showed up for that fight, like, so this dude's name, I thought his last name was Hell, Hell. It was actually Helm. Helm, but like everybody kept calling him Brad Hell the whole time. And then like I was like, that was a little intimidating, but like I'm like an 18-year-old punk at that point, and so like that name was intimidating. He already had a few fights too. He was like 2-0, 3-0, something like that. And then, but I was like, dude, I don't care. Like I'll fight anybody. Like I thought I was tough back then. So I show up that day, and then I see him, and like he's like, like chiseled out of stone, like ripped, and like people are like, dude, you need to back out of this fight. He's gonna kill you. And like me at that time, I was like, dude, I didn't drive all the way down here. I did it. It was at the Russell County Fair, and I was like, I didn't drive all the way down here to tuck my tail and run away. I was like, I'll go out here and get beat up. And the only thing that I knew about MMA at that point was when you go out there, you swing until somebody's dead. So. This fight's on YouTube. I can show it to you guys later. But like, I mean, I go out there and I'm just going at it. Well, he takes me down and I end up on top of him. And like, I'm hitting him, and the referee, which is Will, the owner of Elite, that's actually the first time that we encountered each other and met. Like pulls me off of him. Well, there's like a riot there because like this is a hometown guy, and like they thought that they called me in and rigged that fight so that
you were the ringer.
Yeah, but like they didn't even know who I was. You know what I mean? I was just like a local independent fighter, and I don't know. So like after the fight, I remember like. I was dying, man, because like I didn't know how to control my breathing. I knew zero other than throw haymakers, you know what I mean? So like I got lucky, and like maybe it was God on my side or something that let me win there, you know what I mean? Because if I wouldn't have won there, I would have never stuck with this, you know what I mean? Like never. I know that because I was scared to death in the corner. Like everybody else in their corner is like listening to their coach and learning the game plan, and I was like, please God, if you just let me get through this, I'll never do this again, I promise. So I won, and then like, then like it was in my blood then, man, and so then I fight 2 weeks later,
and that went much differently.
Yeah, so then I fight a guy who like really knows what he's doing. He's from like one of the best MMA instructors at the time in Tennessee, and he's still awesome. I love Josh Cate, and like his guy Clay was super classy, but like I still didn't know anything about fighting. It was just 2 weeks later, and so we get out there, and like I land a couple of good shots on him. He, is trying to take me down, so I'm sprawling, throwing some knees, and then like, dude, he catches me, boom, on the chin, and like messes my jaw all up. And then at some point during that fight, I break my arm. Like I think that it was like he went down to shoot on me, and I punch him like right in the top of the head, so my arm snaps, and so. I lose that fight. I get choked out. I didn't even know to tap out then. So like I get, I get choked out, and so then like I take some time off, and like I don't know, I'm like hanging out with, I've always hung out with a rowdy bunch. Whenever I was a punk kid, you know what I mean. That was most of the trouble that I got in, was just from being hanging around the rowdy crew, man. But then I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, I need to start training. So like I actually started training with a cast on my arm. Mm-hmm. And I trained for, I got the cast off in about 6 weeks. And I just started training and trying to get better. I trained at multiple different gyms. Mm-hmm. And then I fought... So in between this time that I took off, I guess I should say this too, MMA got sanctioned at that point. So now it's like a legal thing there. My first 2 fights were not, they're called unsanctioned now, but like they were professional shows that I fought for, but there's all kinds of ones that weren't, you know what I mean? But these are just people that had their stuff together because they wanted to, they wanted to make money.
You weren't in a barn and back on somebody's property.
No. Well, I mean, that one at Russell County Fair was kind of crazy, man, because we were in like a horse stall. They had a horse show there, and it was like 90 degrees out, and like all you could smell was horse crap. And there's like guys like throwing up out of the cage. I mean, like there was dust. They were mopping the ring up. up between rounds because dust is all in it. And I mean, like once I show you all the video and you hear when you hear the sounds coming from everybody around me, you can tell that it's definitely a redneck adventure. You know what I mean? And that, you know, those are my people. So.
Yeah.
You know, so then I got serious about it, and like, well, I thought that I got serious about it. You know, I thought that I got serious about it because I was taking it more serious. And then I went on like a couple fight win streak, and then I got a title shot for the Kentucky Fighting Challenge against Tim Dunn, a guy that I actually came back and beat in my pro career. I fought him up at Four Seasons, one of the gyms that I've frequented, you know, for a long time, and you know, I got knocked out there, pretty bad one. But you know, I wasn't doing anything right at that point. Like, I wasn't training the way I was supposed to be. I was big. Like, I'd got up to like almost 300 pounds, and like I'd started losing some weight again, and so lost that fight. I came back and won multiple more, like 3 or 4 more. And then, I don't know, man, like it's a lot of that seems like a blur now, man. And like people started thinking I was like one of the best fighters in the state. And like, you know, a lot of people have told me that, and like I never really see that. And like people, you know, they're like, you know, how do you overcome so much? And I'm like, I don't really know. I don't see that. You know what I mean? I just know that I'm not ready to give up yet. That's it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, talking about working with Will at Elite Martial Arts, and he's
not
only working with him there as your trainer, but you've become partners in that business with him.
Sure, yeah. So I started back with Will. I've just celebrated my 10th anniversary with Elite, and you know, whenever I started with Will, we were one location. I don't really even know how many students, but you know, I know we're much more than that now. So started with him. I was just a part-time coach and a like backup instructor. I didn't even know karate yet at that point. I just knew jiu-jitsu and a little bit of kickboxing and Muay Thai. So I got close to my graduation date for college. Like, I was getting ready to graduate from EKU, and like I had no clue what I was going to do with my life. And Will, you know, propositioned me with, hey, would you be interested in doing this full time? And I was like, well, yeah, I didn't know you could do that, but yeah, for sure I would. So like we talked about it, and you know, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. I mean, you know, we've gone from one location with maybe, I don't even know where we were at, 60, 70, 80 students maybe at that time. Mm-hmm. Now we're 4, getting close to 5 locations deep. We got close to 500 students. And I mean, 2 of those locations are very new, so they're going to be, I mean, we'll be pushing 600, 700 students before too long. And, you know, we've really, really went to work as for how to build the business and to build the martial arts side of things. I mean, you know, I'm teaching jiu-jitsu now at my location. We had an amazing seminar there yesterday with my instructor. We've produced world champions. We're taking kids that, you know, came to us that were troubled. They had confidence issues. They had, you know, special education, you know, I don't want to say issues really, because that's not the thing, but like we've taught kids to overcome so much, man. And like seeing some of the kids, like, you know, 2 of the kids that I gave their first stripe on their youth belt yesterday in jiu-jitsu are like 2 kids that like have overcome so much. And you know, that's the real blessing behind what we get to do, you know what I mean? And the reason that Elite's so successful, man, is because not only do we provide, you know, things that parents need with our summer camp and after school, but like it really, like once the parents believe in it and they trust us and they let us take the wheel with their kids as for their training and their growth. I mean, we're producing instructors, employees, we're offering retirement. You know, we're giving kids careers doing what they love to do, you know what I mean? And it's just an amazing thing, man. It's an honor to be a part of it. And like tomorrow, we're getting ready to go pick up another couple of buses for our after-school program. So like I'm going to be driving to Georgia, I think, or North Carolina one tomorrow to pick up. To drive and pick up, you know, vans or new buses to pick up more kids, man. So we're growing. It's an awesome thing.
Yeah, and while your career at Elite has grown and you become a bigger part of that growing business, you've continued to fight and you got a big break with you got on the Contender Series. You took a kind of a fight on short notice to go and go in the Contender Series, the TV show that the UFC has, and so you went on there and talk about that experience.
Yeah, so whenever I went pro, I faced some obstacles going pro, and I wasn't really ready to go pro yet. And I'll jump into Contender Series really quickly. Like, I wasn't really, in my opinion, I wasn't ready to go pro yet. But we just couldn't find any more fights. Like, there wasn't anybody around here that would fight me. So, like, I was like, I mean, like, if you look online, like, you'll see, like, how I had, like, 10 consecutive fights drop and people wouldn't fight me. So then, like, I finally get a fight, and I'm like, I have to go pro now because, you have to have, like, one recent fight for them to allow you pro licensing. So I fought, lost my first fight. I had an opponent change on 24 hours notice, and like, it was a much different opponent than we were prepared for, but I still show up and fight. That's what I try to do most of my career. Second fight, I come back, I get my first win as a pro. Third fight, I fight Dontel Mays, and he was just, he's the better fighter that night. He's actually in the UFC now too. Then I win like 1, 2, 3, 4 fights, 5 fights in a row. Then we get the call to come on the Contender Series. So I'd fought like 2 weeks before that, 3 weeks before that. And, I'm a heavyweight, man, and I'll admit my flaws. Like, I get a little lazy after camp, you know what I mean? So I took like 2 weeks off. Unfortunately, I had about a week to prepare for that fight, and 3 days of that week was travel, you know what I mean? So we had the deck stacked against us, and Jared Vandera was a tough fight, you know what I mean? He's not a slouch, and he just won performance of the night, his last fight. So come out, we have some good exchanges. I'm rocking him. I know I'm going to gas out, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm trying to go for the kill because, like, I'd been, making bad food decisions, and not training enough because, I just had fought. I didn't think I was going to have to fight again that quick. I never had a turnaround that quick, except for my very first amateur fights whenever I, like we talked about. So I didn't expect that quick of a turnaround. I made some mistakes, not to say that it would have turned out any different had I not, but, the UFC called and we stepped up for the Contender Series. And, I had a great time out there, man. No regrets of that fight. I mean, I love watching that one still because it was going great until it wasn't, you know what I mean? And that's the name of the game, dude. That's why, like, you'll see me hashtag all the time, kill or be killed. That's not a violent and animosity-driven thing. It's just the nature of the business that we're in, you know what I mean? So I had a great experience out there, man. That was awesome. I got about 4 words in with Dana White when I was in the cage there. He was sitting there watching, and I'll see him again soon, though, man. I'm real excited about that.
Yeah, and this is an industry really that it's a lot of honor and integrity to this thing. And because you stepped up and took that fight on short notice back in March when they needed someone to step up again, they called you again. So on 4 days' notice, you have to fly out and be on national television to face one of the best heavyweights in the country into a also. Yeah, so come back from the first Vegas experience, and I take some time to decompress because that's a pretty heavy thing. Like, you don't have, like, when you get a call on that short notice, you don't have time to process any thoughts other than, yes, I'll be there. And then, like, we're on the plane, like, within a few hours for that trip. I mean, they called us that day. We were on the plane that night. You know what I mean? Like, me and Jesse and Coach Seals were on a plane that night flying there. And, so you don't have a whole lot of time to process it. And the best way that I can explain it is more of like a manic episode, like when like, bah, 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 and then you wake up and you're like, holy cow, you know what I mean? So like when I get back from there, there's obviously a huge emotional dump from that. So like I took a little bit of time off, like just a few weeks. And then like, I was like, all right, now I know I can hang with these guys on that level, you know what I mean? Because like I was boxing Vandera up, man, and I was defending his clinch. Like, we knew what he wanted to do clinch-wise, but it, I beat me because I made bad decisions in my out of training life that costed me my fight conditioning. You know what I mean? So I don't make that mistake again, though. Like, if anybody sees me now, like I'm going all the time. But anyways, so then we come back and I booked
a title defense, and I fight the guy, get the submission on him, and then oh, no, I'm sorry, I defended my belt, yeah. So then we get the call to be on the Contender Series, and once again, it's exactly 4 days' notice, just like last time. Unfortunately, it's against, you know, one of the top heavyweight fighters in the world right now, you know what I mean? He's top 15, you know, heavyweight in the world, and, you know, I'm a little beat up from that last fight, so, like, you know, it's the deck is stacked against me again, you know what I mean, and like I'm stressing out about it pretty heavy, but like I know that I have to do it. Like this is my opportunity, you know what I mean, and so we step up. I had a beautiful experience out there, man. Ty was cool as could be. Like he was so thankful that I took the fight because he had been not really trapped here, but like he had been here for fight camp for like so long, and he needed the money to go back home to his family in Australia. So like, you know, he was super thankful and super, you know, he was great to me. You know, unfortunately I didn't get the win, but you know, with me stepping up to fill that slot on a main card and you know, stepping up, the UFC took care of me. They gave me the full contract, and you know, now we get the real shot, you know what I mean? And that's what is very important to me right now, is that like now, like everything up to this point has been risk, you know what I mean? Or well, I guess it's gamble. Everything up to this point has been a gamble. Now it's just the risk that we've been taking the whole time that we've been fighting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now it's just I get to become the best fighter that I can be, and like, you know, we're working on finding a fight right now. So
yeah,
you know, as soon as
I've noticed your social media. There's an event coming up at Madison Square Garden, and you desperately would like to be on that.
Yeah,
that
man.
bill.
If I could fight at the Garden, that would be awesome. It's November 6th in New York at Madison Square Garden. If I could fight there, man.
Yeah,
I get tore up just thinking about it.
From the trailer park to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable,
yeah,
isn't it?
for real, man. Like, and like the thing too is now, dude, I'm gonna win. You know what I mean? Like now, before I left Vegas, both times I had loss in the back of my head. That ain't in my head no more, man. And like I've let a lot of people like influence my my thoughts. You know what I mean? Now I'm taking control of my thoughts. And, you know, the trip out to Vegas was a huge help for me to the Performance Institute a few weeks back, motivation-wise, inspiration-wise, and then just programming-wise, too, because I learned a lot of things about strength and conditioning. I learned about where I'm at as compared to every other fighter in the heavyweight division of the UFC kind of deal, with my cardio. I got, you know, my supplement program in line. They give you all of that, you know what I mean? Your supplements are 100% free. And then, like, getting to train with some of those pros. I mean, like, I was on the mat right next to Francis Ngannou, who's the heavyweight champ of the UFC right now. So I was on the mat with him, and like, you know, I've been pretty sheltered in Kentucky and haven't got to train with a lot of the high level pros, and knowing that I can hang in there and knowing the adjustments that I need to make, I can definitely do this, man. Like, I know I can now, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like, I'm just being clear on air here, I guess, is that with the fact that, hey, you know, when you come from a place like this, man, you know, the deck is stacked against you when you go to places, you know what I mean? But knowing that, like, I was not far off when I was out there training with those high level pros, like, I know I'm in the right place now, you know what I mean? I know I belong here, and I'm going to stay.
Yeah. Well, your story's inspirational, man. I got to tell you, I was, like I said, when Ed McDaniel sat down and told me some of this stuff, I said, "Damn, this is crazy." And we went and set up. We actually went over to Straight Out Texas Barbecue and sat out there and talked one day. And so it was very inspirational. We did feature you in the recent issue of the Madison magazine, which is in the Richmond Register. So if you guys want to check out more of that, including his philanthropic endeavor to get some kids some bikes this summer. So you took some of your own money and raised some money from some corporate donors also to raise to get some kids some bikes. So that was an awesome thing you did to kind of give.
Yeah, that was cool, man. And like, so, like I had so many people reach out to me, and like I think that shows like how great our community is, because like I had like one a commercial donor. Everybody else was private, man. People that just wanted to help and donate some money. And not one of them asked for any representation or any, they didn't want any exposure from it. They just wanted to help kids, you know what I mean? Yeah. So me and my wife and...
I'll say it was her idea, though. We got to give
Vanessa
credit. It was her
idea.
I
was like, whenever I come back, I told her what I wanted to do, and I was like, I just want to go buy a bunch of toys and take them to these neighborhoods. And she's like, but the kids are just going to break those and throw them away. You should do something cooler. And we talked about it for a couple minutes, and she brought up the bike thing, and I was immediately sold on that. But then I knew that my reach was much smaller because $1,000 worth of bikes isn't that much. Yeah. You know what I mean? So then we started Benchmark Mortgage, Susan Hatfield and Paul Hatfield. They doubled our donation right off the bat. And then I got small donations here and there. I mean, even the Peacemakers Bike Club donated money to us, which was really cool. And I don't know, man, that was cool. Sometimes I just like to ride through there and watch those kids riding their bikes through. That's motivation. If I've ever had any in my life, you know what I mean? Just riding through some of those neighborhoods and watching those kids, ride their bikes around, man. And so when we get the next fight, Dana White, Mick Maynard, call me because we're trying to
MSG. Madison
we've already got the next so our next plan is to do shoes and boots this winter for kids that need them. You know what I mean? So make that fight happen, boys. Let's go, because I'm trying to every time a good thing happens to me, I'm going to give back because of it. Yeah. And that's our goal.
Well, Harry, we're very happy for all your success and continue on. We'd love to see you on Madison Square Garden. That would be great. And we'll continue to follow your career, and it's just so nice that you give back to the community and are part of that too. And so it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you,
pleasure
man.
to talk to you again. It's been I had a pleasure talking to you a couple of times now, and I'm just amazed by the story and just positive, upbeat attitude, man. It's amazing what you can achieve if you just believe, and like you said, I'm just amazed at everything you've been through, and you're like, well, people had it worse than me. It's no big deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have. I mean, I'm nobody special, man. I'm just trying to do better. That's it.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir.
Good luck on the kids are going back to school, so I guess you'll be running around picking up kids every day.
Yeah, it starts Wednesday. Yep, that's why I'm making a trip to pick up a bus tomorrow, it sounds like. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, and we'll wrap up this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. We'll be back next week with a full recap of all the week in sports and special guests as well. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Do you want to sponsor the weekly Richmond Register Sports Show? Contact the Richmond Register, richmondregister.com, and of course on Facebook or Twitter. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Central Kentucky Pressure Washing. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.